We hope you're enjoying all the great competition you're seeing here today. At the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we're grateful for the incredible support that makes this event possible. None more vital or valued than the proud title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau. With me here today is Brent Johnson, president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, to explain why their organization invests in and supports the Girls Union.
Thanks, Aaron. The Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for more than 2 decades now. The athletes competing here today represent the very best of our nation's student athletes, driven, dedicated, and committed to teamwork. At the Iowa Farm Bureau, we share those same values. Our farmers lead the nation not only in the production of corn, hogs, eggs, and ethanol, but also in the implementation of a number of innovative soil and water conservation practices which hold soil in place and reduce runoff. These shared values unite Iowa's student athletes and farm families, and our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the perfect opportunity to celebrate that commitment to excellence statewide.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate the Iowa Farm Bureau's ongoing support and the role you play in helping Iowa's girls shine.
Batting third and at third base, number 32, Mara Carrenos. Batting fourth and catching, number 6, Julie Wozmanski. Batting fifth, the starting pitcher, number 13, Annie Denton. Batting sixth, the designated player, number 5, Delaney Lightog. Batting seventh and at second base, number 1, Ashlyn Small. Batting eighth, the shortstop, number 9, Ivy Vaught. Batting ninth in left field, number 4, Brooklyn Pillar. And flex in right field, number 12, Emma Day. Head coach for the Bulldogs is James Claus. And now the non-starters for the home team, Wahlert Catholic. Number 1, Cale Murphy. Number 6, Kara Flanagan. Number 7, Kylie Sieverding. Number 9, Quinn Mattil. Number 10, Madeline Maroney. Number 11, Leah Rowling. Number 12, Abby Rowling. And number 21, Zoe Nepper. Assistant coaches for the Golden Eagles, Mark Rako, Alex Jeffrey, and Katie Hayes. And now the starting lineup for the Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles. Leading off, designated player, number 14, is Julia Roth. Batting second in center field, number 17, Ruth Tauber. Batting third at third base, number 4, Addie Klein. Batting fourth at second base, number 3, Sadie Schultz. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 24, Natalie Ruba. Batting sixth at third base, first base, number 18, Haley Lang. Batting seventh and catching, number 23, Lily Oberhofer. Batting eighth in the right field, number 16, Claire Brocious. Batting ninth in the left field, number 2, Ari McClyman. And flex and pitching, number 13, Cameron Tyson. Head coach for the Golden Eagles is Tyler Lang. Our umpires tonight, as assigned by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, at first base, Jeff Niehaus. At third base, Cam Cooksey. And behind home plate, Jake Parker. And now it's time to play state tournament softball.
Well, a very pleasant good evening, softball fans, and welcome back to Class 3A state tournament action in the winner's bracket in this tournament. The number 2 seeded Golden Eagles of Wahlert Catholic against the number 6 seed Bulldogs from Van Meter. A very pleasant good evening. Daniel Versteeg with you here on the Girls Union Digital Network. It's powered by Mid-American Energy. You're watching live coverage of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. Again, we are in a winner's bracket matchup. It pits the Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles against the Van Meter Bulldogs. The Golden Eagles 36-6 after a convincing win over West Delaware yesterday by a score of 9-1. Van Meter a convincing win as well. They really handled the number 3 seed Albia 10-2. Both of those games finishing via a run rule. And now here we are in the winner's bracket. The winner advances to be one game away from making it to the state championship contest. The loser will have to play right away tomorrow morning against Albia, as the Lady D's just got done beating West Delaware in the elimination contest. Wahlert Catholic will be throwing their senior. It looks like it's going to be Julia Roth, who will be in the circle for Wahlert Catholic. They usually list Cameron Tyson as the pitcher and then go to Julia Roth, who's the designated player. Gives them some really good flexibility from a pitching standpoint. And they'll be facing a Van Meter offense that came into the state tournament batting .420 as a team. And they'll be led off by Maddie Schnell. You heard the rest of the order. Ella Fennessy and Mara Corrados, will be batting in the third spot. So here we go. This contest is underway with a first pitch strike. It's thrown right on time. 5:31 this evening here in Fort Dodge is the penultimate game of the day in Class 3A. We will have one more elimination bracket contest here today. And Schnell gives one a ride into the left field corner, a long run, and it drops foul down the left field line. They called it foul down the left field line. That is strike 2. And the count is 0-2. And now James Flaws, the head coach of Van Meter, arguing with our third base umpire Cam Cooksey. I think he might have disagreed. But that ball ends up landing foul. And now it is 0-2. Nearly would have been extra bases for Maddie Schnell, potentially 3 bases. She was hustling around second. But now she's behind 0-2, and the pitch is dribbled foul at the plate. We'll do it again. It's Maddie Schnell. Coach Flaws calls her the offensive leader of this team, and you could say why. She comes into the state tournament hitting .526, 24 extra base hits prior to state tournament play. 0-2 to Schnell is high. And there's the line. What an impressive stat line for Maddie Schnell. .526 batting average, 4 homers, 29 ribbies for Schnell at the top of this order. The 1-2 pitch. It's too tall. Facing against a Wahlert Catholic pitching staff with a team ERA heading into state tournament play at 2.16. They only allowed 1 run to West Delaware yesterday. The 2-2. Ground ball sharply hit to first. It's handled by Lang, and she has the easy part of taking it to the bag herself for out number 1. So Maddie Schnell is retired on the ground out to first, and now it's Ella Fennessy, the first baseman for Van Meter. Fennessy, the sophomore, had a really great regional tournament run. As the first pitch is in there for a strike, it's 0-1. And you could tell why this Van Meter offense is so good. Ella Fennessy, .450 hitter, slugs at a rate of about 600, and drives in a ton of runs at the second spot of the order. That's usually a tough part to get a bunch of RBIs out of, because you're really relying on the top of the order, or in most innings, the bottom of the order to get on base. 1-1 to Fennessy, and the pitch is inside. So much easier for that heart of the order. 3, 4, and 5 hitters to get on. You're really relying on the top of the order, which always does so well, and trying to get on base to drive in a few runs. And Fennessy chops one to second. It is caught on the fly by Schultz. Nice play over there at second on a line out to Sadie Schultz, and there's 2 away as Julia Roth was inches, maybe millimeters, away from allowing an extra base hit to lead off this inning. And now she's gotten back-to-back outs to open the first as Corrados digs in. And the first pitch to her is a strike. Mara Corrados, a strong hitter for Van Meter as well. Just, again, some outstanding offensive stats for this Van Meter offense. The 0-1, and a ground ball back up the middle. That's through into center. Base hit. And Van Meter has their first knock against a really good pitcher in Julia Roth. And the Bulldogs, who put up 10 runs yesterday against, statistically, you could argue the best pitcher in the 3A tournament. And Albia's Pence. They hit her around the yard yesterday, and now they have gotten their first hit against Julia Roth. Here's Jillian Wozmansky, and the first pitch is low. Wozmansky, a junior, returning second-team all-conference selection. Van Meter hails out of the West Central Athletic Conference. Two-game champion in that league over the Roadrunners of Interstate 35. This is a high bouncer to third. Handled on that high hop by Klein, and the side is retired. A two-out hit, and nothing doing for Van Meter outside of that. Half inning in the books. Bulldogs do not score. We're going to see Wahlert come up to bat when you come back. You're watching the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
You're watching the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. And we go down to the bottom of the first inning. Wahlert Catholic will get their first chance against Van Meter pitcher Aniston Netton, a freshman, getting the start in the circle here at the state tournament. And the first pitch rocketed left center field. That splits the alley and rolls to the wall. Julia Roth with a chance at two. She's in there standing up. Wahlert Catholic on the first pitch of the game wastes no time getting into scoring position. Hard hit line drive, and it barely got over the head of the shortstop, but it had a ton of velocity behind it, and it had enough steam to get all the way to the fence in left center. So Julia Roth doesn't just do it in the circle, she does it at the plate. And now here's Ruth Tauber, center fielder, left-handed hitting outfielder for the Golden Eagles, and she takes a ball. Ruth Tauber, arguably one of, if not the best, 3A hitter in the state tournament. Future Northern Iowa Panther, currently holds the career and single-season hits record at Wahlert Catholic. The 1-0 down and away. And Tauber, 74 hits coming into the state tournament. She's only added to that here as the tournament has rolled along. Now ahead in the count. You give her a hitter's count. Could be bad news as the pitch misses outside. They're going up against Aniston Netton, that freshman for Van Meter, coming into state tournament play with an ERA right around 2.5. Doesn't allow a ton of runs, but she's in a pickle early in the 3-0. It's down and away. Easy 4-pitch walk. Ruth Tauber is aboard. And now you get the very, very good heart of the order. Addie Klein, Sadie Schultz, Natalie Ruba, 3, 4, and 5 for Wahlert Catholic. As Addison Klein takes a peek at that cheat sheet on that left arm. Here's the numbers for her, 38 RBIs this year. Normally those three-hole hitters had a lot of power. That's not really Addison Klein's game. Just 2 extra base hits coming into the state tournament. She offers a bunt and fouls it. And that's something fun to watch, too, is when you have a good run producer that is not necessarily a power bat. That gives you really a lot of different ways to drive in some runs. Makes you very unpredictable from a defensive standpoint. 2 on, nobody out. And here's the pitch. It's offered at him. Bunted once again, foul. Quickly 0-2. As Aniston Netton tries to wiggle her way out of an early situation. 2 aboard, nobody out for this Wahlert Catholic offense that can score runs in a hurry. Just asked West Delaware yesterday. They found out in a big way. 0-2, to Klein. The pitch way outside, gets away from the catcher in Wozmansky, and another 60 feet advancing for all of the base runners on a wild pitch. And it is 1-2 to Klein. Early jam for Van Meter, and not the spot that Netton wanted to be in. Her 1-2 is given a ride to right center. Long run to the alley. That's up against the fence. Roth and Tauber are coming around third. It's a 2-run double for Klein as she fires up the Wahlert Catholic dugout. They smack the roof for good luck, and we'll see it again. A hard hit double into the alley, and no chance for the 2 outfielders to bring it in. By the time it got down, both Tauber and Ruth were already smacking home plate. 2 RBI, 2 bagger. And Wahlert Catholic off and rolling here early in the bottom of the first. Here's Sadie Schultz. And now the first pitch from Netton is high. Van Meter was really the only one to throw off the uniformity, so to speak, of the 3A bracket. We're going to have they had the 1-4 here earlier in a winner's game. 5-8 played each other in the loser's game. 1-0 pitch, misses. And the 7 seed that lost to Wahlert, of course, and then Van Meter's upset over 3 seed Albia. That's been the only shakeup in this bracket. And Albia, of course, handled West Delaware just a moment ago on this field. 2-0 to Schultz. Swing and a miss. Good rising pitch. And Schultz couldn't climb the ladder. This Wahlert Catholic bunch plays such good competition in the Mississippi Valley Conference. 2-1. Bounces. Good scoop. Keeps Klein at second. And we talk about this, I feel like every time Wahlert Catholic makes the state tournament in any sport, they are a 3A team that plays up in level, 4As and 5As all season. And that only helps you by the time you get to the state tournament. And it has greatly helped Wahlert Catholic this year. 3-1. Ground ball rolled to first. Taken cleanly. And stepping on the bag herself is Ella Fennessy for out number 1. But Addie Klein uses it to go to third base. And Wahlert Catholic threatens with a 3rd run in this inning for the shortstop Natalie Ruba, and only 1 out.
Shortstop, number 24, Natalie Ruba.
So Ruba, the shortstop, junior, coming up to bat for Wahlert. 2-time All-Conference in the Mississippi Valley Conference in the Valley Division. First pitch, outside corner for a strike. Some impressive numbers once again for Ruba, 341 hitter entering state. 38 RBIs prior to coming to Fort Dodge. Really outstanding bat there in the middle of the order. 0-1. Rocket off the bat, foul. Heads up over there. Looked like that got a spectator, but he seems to be okay. This count is 0-2. As Ruba a little too far out in front of it. That is why I always say you got to bring a glove here at state softball. Keep your head on a swivel. You never know where the softball is flying from. Now we get time called. Oh, 2 to Ruba. Here's the offering from Netton. It's flown to right. Back on it. That's carrying all the way to the wall. It's up against the fence. Klein scores easily, and Ruba is at second base. It is a trio of doubles for Wahlert Catholic. And it is the 3rd extra base hit of the inning as well. Extra base hits in today's game, of course, brought to you by Channel Seeds, the enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. 3 runs, 3 doubles. And here's Haley Lang. It is a strike on the outer edge. So only 1 out in this inning, too. Wahlert Catholic has made very quick work of Van Meter's Aniston Netton. And here's the 0-1. That's in the dirt. Some good defense played back there by Wozmanski, the catcher for Van Meter. She finds a way to keep the runner at bay in scoring position. Netton with the 1-1. Ground ball to short. Awkwardly with the runner at second. It's taken at short. And the throw to first from Vaught is in time. He easily handles the ground ball, and it works well to keep Ruba at second base. 2 outs in the first, and here's Lily Oberhofer.
Catcher number 23, Lily Oberhofer.
7th spot in the Wahlert Catholic order. As Wahlert Catholic leads this one big here early. And the first pitch, Oberhofer takes a strike. Catcher that, as you saw, doesn't necessarily sport the best offensive numbers, but does still get the job done. 15 RBIs this year for Oberhofer, but still hitting below 200 coming into the state tournament. The 0-1. Check swing, but a ball low. Now Van Meter really wanted that pitch. Bulldogs don't get the benefit of the call. And with 2 outs in the first, Wahlert trying to build up the lead even further, and the pitch misses well outside. So again, we're in a spot right now, after we just had an elimination game between Albia and West Delaware. We are in a spot where nobody is eliminated with the outcome of this game. Got to wait for tomorrow for the elimination game that the loser of this will play in. And as I mentioned earlier, the winner of this game will be 1 win away from Friday evening's championship. And they'll have 2 games to win 1, which is such a luxury in a double elimination format. 2-2 to Oberhofer. Pitch is low, and again blocked well by Wozmanski. We will still have 1 elimination to get taken care of on this field, though, today. It's going to see Williamsburg, the number 1 seed, face off with PCM. Williamsburg took a tough loss today to Mount Vernon. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Got her to chase, high and outside. And Oberhofer strikes out to end a really strong first inning for Wahlert. They score 3 runs with 3 doubles and have a 3-0 lead after 1. Going to the second, 5, 6, and 7 for Van Meter. Coming up next on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, you better stake up. Fairway and meat go hand in hand.
This dream is meant for you and me.
Poultry, pork, and beef, your home for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah!
Fairway, it's the one you need.
Back to the state softball tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. Daniel Versteg with you, along with our great Girls Union Digital Network crew. Van Meter will lead things off with Aniston Netton, and she takes high for a ball. Netton, who's doing double duty this evening, pitching and hitting, and does a great job at both for Van Meter. Pitches a strike, and it's even at 1-1. And the Wahlert fans have a little something to say about that call, too. 1-1 here to Netton. And the offering from Roth is skied foul. Netton, who is a large part of this Van Meter team, is just a freshman. She is going to be such a terror at the state softball tournament the next few years. Here's the 1-2. And a high drive, well hit, center field, deep at the wall. It's up against the wall. And Netton is into second base. And the Bulldogs have an extra base hit of their own. The ball is flying in for Dodge. And a two-base hit for the Van Meter pitcher. So Aniston Netton goes for two bases off of the fence in left center. And a leadoff base runner on for the designated player in Delaney Lifetog.
There's catcher number 5, Delaney Lifetog.
So Lifetog digs in, shows bunt, and she takes a strike. That's 0-1. Lifetog, the junior, 337 hitter coming into state tournament play. Trying to come through and drive in Van Meter's first run. Bunt pushed up the first base line. It's gloved by Roth. They shovel to the first base. The return home, not in time. Annie Netton slides around the tag. And Van Meter is on the board with a two-base running play on the bunt. Excellent bunt. It was to an awkward spot in the field, and then Netton never stopped running. What great base runner from the pitcher. And now here's Ashlyn Small, second baseman, first pitch. That's a strike. Well, Coach Flaws wasn't kidding when he told us leading up to the state tournament that everything Annie Netton does is fast. Base running, pitching, hitting, you name it, she does it fast. That one's foul. She even scores from second base on a bunt. That's how fast she can be. And a very, very huge run for Van Meter in the second inning. Quickly 0-2 to Small on the pitch. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Roth wasn't messing around that time. A 3-pitch strikeout of Ashlyn Small. And the first strikeout for Roth here this evening will bring up Ivy Vaught, the shortstop. So Vaught digs in. First pitch to her is high. An outstanding job, by the way, of capitalizing on the leadoff double as you take a look at the numbers from Ivy Vaught. 400 batting average throughout the season. Pitch is fouled. And you have a situation, leadoff double. A lot of teams would worry about trying to squeeze around because they want to really have the big inning. You want to go for the gut punch, but you don't stage a 3-run comeback with big innings all that often. They happen, but not all the time. Systematically scoring runs consistently throughout the game, that really helps your comeback bid. 1-2. It's outside. 2-2 to the sophomore Ivy Vaught. As Van Meter tries to put together a little 2-out rally. The pitch is grounded to third, foul. So those Wahlert fielders will retrieve the ball and get it back in. Currently down to 6 teams still alive in the Class 3A state tournament. The pitch popped up on the infield. Somebody's got to call it, and the pitcher, Roth, takes charge for the third out of the inning. The leadoff double turns into a run for Van Meter, and they're on the board, but they still trail by 2. Wahlert Catholic sends the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate next here on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people. who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Well, Van Meter gets on the board with a leadoff double from Annie Netton. And then the bunt brings her around, a two-base bunt advance from Netton. Everything she does is fast, and that was proven there. Here's Claire Brocious, right fielder for Wahlert in the first pitch. In there for a strike. 8-9-1 for the Golden Eagles. Ari McClymon will bat in this inning as well. For the number 2 seeded Golden Eagles. 36-6 on the year now after their win yesterday. The 0-1 fouled. The count is 0-2. Brocious kind of struggled there in the regional tournament. Had just the one hit in the semifinal win over Crestwood. A couple of 0-for games against Osage in the region final and walk-on in the quarters. Now Brocious behind 0-2 in the pitch. Dribbled up the third base line. Handled there by Corrados, and she tosses on to Fennessy at first for out number 1. Harmless ground out, and with 1 out, it'll be Ari McClymon, the left fielder.
Fielder number 2, Ari McClymon.
Certainly getting in the America 250 spirit, a red, white, and blue bat for McClymon. First pitch to her is taken low, ball 1. Whenever you can have an above 300 hitter at the 9 spot in your order, you're doing something right offensively, and that is Ari McClymon. The 1-0. Misses ball 2. 312 hitter is McClymon, just a freshman for this Wahlert Catholic squad, who made the state championship game last year and took a loss. Trying to get back there again this year. 2-0 is low. 3-0. Meanwhile, Van Meter is the 2-time defending 2A champs. They have at least been in the championship game the last 3 years running. They're trying to go for a three-peat and do so while moving up a class. McClymon takes high. It's ball 4. 4-pitch walk. And Ari McClymon gets a base runner on him for the top of the order. And the pitcher / designated player, Julia Roth. So Roth after the leadoff double to start the game. And now we're going to get a new pitcher here for Van Meter, as the Bulldogs will bring in Jilly Womansky. Womansky will take over in the circle, and Aniston Netton will be replaced. So we'll tell you about Jillian Womansky here, a junior for Wahlert Catholic. There's the numbers. Really good ERA, 1.8, under just a little over 100 innings of work. Not much of a strikeout arm, but she can get there when need be. The big thing, very low walk numbers. Does not allow very many base runners in the grand scheme of things, and an opponent batting average under 250 will really help the cause too. So Womansky will take over in the circle, and we'll see what she's got in store for this Wahlert Catholic offense. So Womansky might bring a little bit of a different look. She is a lefty, and that certainly could throw off this offensive team in Wahlert. Both Wozmanski and Netton have really split the time pitching for Van Meter. And Wozmanski now finds herself in a spot trying to pitch out of a jam, and with the top of the order set to hit now in Roth. First pitch, and Wozmanski dials in a strike.
12 on the day to left field, 13 net to right.
Wozmanski facing Roth, who doubled on the first pitch she saw in the bottom of the first inning, sparking a 3-run frame. And that one's high to even the count. With Kleiman at first base following the 4-pitch walk that potentially prompted the change. And that one is a lofter taken for a ball high. Did not quite get back down to the strike zone, and it's 2-1. Two and one to Roth, 1 out, and the pitch taken low. 3 balls and a strike. Wozmanski trying to dial in a couple of strikes. And the pitch is fouled off the end of the bat. Good hitters count. Roth was looking for one and just could not quite square it up. So the count is full. 3-2. And a big spot for Wozmanski. The payoff, swing and a miss, got her out in front of an off-speed pitch for strike 3. And Roth goes down on strikes. Not very often you talk about that. 8 strikeouts on the season coming into the state tournament. Roth, a very rare strikeout, opens things up. Second at bat with a K. Here's Ruth Tauber. Takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. As Wozmanski tries to help Van Meter out, keep the Golden Eagles off of the scoreboard in this inning. Pitch is low. Wozmanski did pitch yesterday against Albia. 2 innings, a hit, no runs, just 1 strikeout was all she was good for, but a really solid outing. No walks in that outing, too. And that catches the zone. 2-1 to Tauber. Very dangerous bat, and Jillian Wozmanski knows that, and she really does not want to mess around. 2-1, hot shot, ground ball to second, and they only need the out at first. They get that. Ashlyn Small plays it cleanly, and the inning concludes. Nice job by Jillian Wozmanski. Gets a couple of outs to keep Wahlert off the board. 2 in the books, and a 2-run lead for the Golden Eagles. Van Meter has 9-1-2. Coming up next on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Back to action, top of the third, and Wahlert Catholic with a 2-run lead as Julia Roth tries to keep it that way, dialing things in with a strike to start things off. She's facing the bottom of the order. Brooklyn Pillar opens things up and lines one hard left center. That's down. A sliding stop in center by Tauber to hold her to just one base. It's going to be a very overlooked part of that play, but certainly a heads-up play by Tauber to know that she's thinking too. And Pillar held to just a single. And we'll go back to the top of the order. Center fielder Maddie Schnell. Weakly grounded out to first base her first time up, and now you see Van Meter starting to time out Roth a little bit better. First pitch offered at and missed for a strike. With Pillar at first base, how about the production on the bottom of the order there from an 8th grader, Brooklyn Pillar. The 0-1, Schnell shows bunt, fouls it back again, so now that bunt probably taken off of the table. Counted 0-2. Brooklyn Pillar, very limited at bats, but man, the production is off the charts for her as she went 1 for 2, scoring a couple of runs yesterday. Now she comes through with a hit again, and keep in mind, she is just an 8th grader. So now this season, I mean, she's hitting the ball so well. 20 hits and 40 at-bats. 1-2, fly ball, left side, foul ground. Oh, it's just over the head of the third baseman, Addie Klein. And so the count stays at 1-2. And Brooklyn Pillar is making herself a very good argument to be in the lineup full time. She has not been throughout the season, and well, I'm sure she's maybe tugging on Coach Flaw's jersey enough to potentially make that happen. Still 1-2 here to Schnell, following the leadoff hit by Pillar. The leader for this Van Meter offense, Maddie Schnell. 1-2, stays alive, taking the pitch upstairs. 2-2 to Schnell. A good battle here out of the top of the order. Here's the pitch. It's given a ride deep out to left field. This is going to stay in the yard, but a collision in left center will let the ball drop. That is an error on the center fielder, Schnell, and we're going to see what happened here. Yeah, you had 2 players converging on it. The left fielders camped underneath it, and there's Tauber trying to take charge. I think she ends up hurting her left fielder. Excellent job as well by Van Meter. They didn't get into too much trouble on the bases. As, of course, you had Pillar holding up to make sure that the ball was going to be caught before she did anything else. And then when it wasn't caught, she got to second, and Maddie Schnell took a big turnaround first, made sure to retreat back to the bag. So a big error there for Wahlert's defense, an error that is so rare. I mean, this season, heading into state tournament play, Wahlert had committed 24 errors all season. They played 41 games prior to coming to the state tournament. So, I mean, you have a team who plays a lot of games, and they just don't make mistakes. Now, here's a fly ball right center. Tauber makes up for it with a running catch. Great play in shallow right center, taking away another base hit. And now with an out, it's Kratos, the base hit she had in the first inning. And she will bat with 2 on and 1 out. Here's Roth's offering. Bunt shown, and the pitch buzzes her a bit, and it's 0-1. Kratos, a sophomore. Really good game against Atlantic in the region finals. She shows bunt, and this one is in the zone for a strike. And it's 1-1. 3 for 4. She nearly hit for the cycle against Atlantic in the region final. A single, a double, a homer. Going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. The 1-1 is high. And that's the production you love to see out of the 3 spot in the order. Van Meter hoping she can tap into that once again after a great regional tournament in which she had 6 RBIs all told in the 3 regional games. 2-1 to Corrados. And that's on the outer edge, strike 2. Van Meter's fans wanted that to be a ball, while our Catholic fans appreciate the call going their way. 2-2 to Corrados, and that's high and outside. Count is full. And a big pitch upcoming here from Roth to Corrados in a winner's bracket contest, so we're not eliminating anybody in this game. But this is a big one toward determining who gets toward the championship. Ground ball to short, force play everywhere. They go to second for 1. Return to first is late. Fielder's choice. Runners on the corners. As Maddie Schnell is out at second. Pillar to third. And now that'll bring up the new pitcher, Jillian Wozmanski. And now time call is Wahlert wants to take a look and talk things over just with their battery. That's Oberhofer and Roth. So the strategy taken care of, and we ended up having a softball come over the fence in the right field corner, and they had to track that down as well.
Batter is the pitcher, number 6, Jillian Wozmanski.
So Jillian Wozmanski, the pitch, in there for a strike. And Van Meter was trying to potentially bait Wahlert into throwing down to second. And Wahlert does not take the bait. The Golden Eagles also keep Corrados at first. 0-1 here to Wozmanski, and the pitch lined foul to the dugout, and it sits there. Yeah, lonely world up there on the dugout. Someone will try and track him down here in a minute. Get him back with his friends. 0-2 to Wozmanski. Here's the pitch. In there on the outside corner, strike 3. Huge bounce back from Roth. Allows a couple of base runners to open the inning. No runs in the top of the third. 2.5 complete. Wahlert still up 3-1 in a winner's bracket contest at the state softball tournament presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau. You're watching live coverage of it on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Back to the state softball tournament. We want to once again thank the Iowa Farm Bureau for presenting the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament. As sole title sponsor, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, the Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the field and in the classroom, helping to nurture Iowa's future leaders. Daniel Versteeg with you once again. Happy to be joining you for this state tournament softball action. Second of 3 outstanding and hectic days of the state softball tournament. And the second day is the day of reckoning, so to speak. Addie Klein is with the count even at 1-1. Now the strike on the inside corner makes it 1-2. Eliminations aplenty today. We are eliminating 3 teams out of each class of softball competition. As the state tournament rolls along, 1-2 to Klein. It is dribbled foul. This is the heart of the Wahlert Catholic order. And they are going to have a chance to build on to their lead that has currently held well at 2. But certainly not a guarantee by any means that Wahlert will keep that lead. Of course, we saw what the Van Meter offense can do. Here's the pitch. It's high and outside. As again, we told you about the situation for both teams. Wahlert trying to get back to the state championship matchup after finishing as a runner-up last year. This is a slow lobbing off-speed pitch that misses. Van Meter is trying to three-peat, I should say, now moving up a class in 3A. They won the last 2 titles in 2A, runner-up in 2023. Full count. That is fouled. Good battle by Addie Klein. She's going to see pitch number 8 of the at-bat. Three and 2 to Klein. Nobody out. Opening up the bottom of the third as Wahlert has a 2-run lead. Pitch is grounded to third. It is taken there cleanly by Corrados. The throw retires Klein for out number 1. Harmless ground out and a good start for Jillian Wozmansky in the circle here in the 3rd inning. And now that'll bring up the cleanup spot, second baseman Sadie Schultz. First pitch to her is popped up foul into the netting, and the count is 0-1. Natalie Ruba also due up for this Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagle team. As the Golden Eagles have made such an incredible turnaround under head coach Tyler Lang. This is his 5th year as the head coach of Wahlert Catholic. As the 0-1 lofts in there. No misses for a ball, 1-1. And in all 5 years Coach Lang has been the head coach at Wahlert, the Golden Eagles have made the state tournament. And now you're probably sitting there thinking, if you're an astute girls sports fan in Iowa, as this one tails foul toward the tarp. Good give there by Day, the right fielder. That's 1-2. If you're an astute girls sports follower, you'd think, well, that's not surprising. Wahlert gets to state in basketball. They get to state in volleyball. They get to state in soccer. They make a deep run in track, all that kind of stuff. Why is it so unique that Wahlert softball made it to state 5 years in a row? The year before Coach Lang took over, the Golden Eagles were 2-30 in softball. That was the one sport that was neglected in Dubuque. As this fly ball to right is handled by Day for the second out of the inning. Coach Lang came in. Well, he turned that program upside down in a good way. From 2-30 to a state tournament team. And they've been in the semifinal round in each of the last 3 seasons. And if they end up winning this game, they'll be back in the last 4 round once again. As the first pitch to Ruba is low. They will be one of the last 4 teams standings in Class 3A. Of course, the semifinal round, quote-unquote, looks a little bit different this year with a double elimination format. And this is roped deep left field. If it stays fair, it's going to be foul just into the corner. That looked like it was heading over the fence. I got to remember the wind is blowing in there from right center, and that certainly altered the course of that ball. That thing had home run potential without the wind. I think the wind not only blew it foul, but kept it in the yard as well. 1-1 to Ruba. And that's fouled back. And the wind has been a bit more aggressive today than it has yesterday. Yesterday is kind of calm most of the day. A little bit of a wind, but nothing really too dramatic. But it's picked up today. Certainly impacting these games. And now the off-speed. She waited on it. And it's down in shallow left center. Now on to second. The throw is off target. And that is a double for Natalie Ruba. as Wahlert Catholic gets on with a 2-base hit. How about that? Great job keeping the hands back. She waited on the off-speed pitch. Good effort by Pillar in left. And maybe not the cleanest slide by Ruba, but she'll certainly take it. It is a Channel Seed extra base hit. All extra base hits in today's game are brought to you by Channel Seeds. It's a second extra base hit for Natalie Ruba. 2 outs, runner on second. Here's Haley Lang, and the first pitch to her is a strike. It is 0-1. Ground out to short in the first for Lang, and now she's trying to add to the Wahlert lead. That's a strike. Good location for that fastball from Wozmanski. And it's 0-2 to Lang. Big pitch. This is popped up. Can of corn to center. Maddie Schnell takes control, and the inning is over. Hard hit double by Ruba, but it leads 2-0 for Wahlert Catholic in the bottom of the third. 3 in the books. And it's Wahlert 3, Van Meter 1. To the fourth we go. Van Meter could use some runs on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Annie Netton will lead things off for Van Meter as the Bulldogs could use a couple of runs here in the fourth against Julia Roth. Tiles in a very good fastball that misses low. Netton started off the second inning with a double. One of just 3 hits for the Bulldogs so far. That one misses up. It's 2-0. So Netton, Livetog, and Small, those 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Bulldogs. The 2-0. Down and in. Boy, Roth has come with some gas in this fourth inning. Some high velo, but has not been able to find the zone yet. She falls behind Netton here to open this inning. 3-0 home. That's in there. That's a strike. So it's 3-1 to Aniston Netton. Here's the pitch. It's hit the other way. Shallow left. It drops. Base hit. Right inside the chalk and left. And a leadoff single for Annie Netton. 3rd inning in a row. That Van Meter has put the leadoff base runner aboard. But so far in only one of those innings have they put a run on the board. And so here is Delaney Livetog, the catcher for Van Meter. As she bunted in Netton earlier. Shows bunt here and takes down and away. 1-0. An impressive job by Netton that first time as she was able to get the run to score on that bunt. And it's 2-0 now to Livetog. Here's the pitch. Shows bunt. Pulls it back. Runner's going. It's a strike. And the throw to second. Just late. Excellent execution there by Aniston Netton as she steals second base. And we'll take a look at the jump she got. Great job there by Netton. Timed it up perfectly. Throw was good, but a good slide as well around the right side of the bag. 2-1 in the pitch. Bunted out in front of the plate. It's fielded by Roth. Throw to first in time. And Wahlert now learns their lesson as they make sure they get that ball to first quickly. Netton only to third. But now with one out, you've got some flexibility there to try and bring in a run. And now here is Ashlyn Small trying to cut the deficit to 1 run. Pitch. That misses. 1-0 to Small. Struck out on 3 pitches her first time up. Roth's offering. That's bunted. It's a squeeze play. They're coming home, and the run is safe. Netton scores on the sac bunt, and it's a 1-run ball game here in the 4th. How about that bunt? It was a squeeze play all the way. Good glove flip, and the run scores to make it a 1-run affair. So an RBI bunt hit. Annie Netton scores on the bunt by Small. And now here is Ivy Vaught. First pitch missed for a ball, 1-0. And now Vaught takes a strike. And it's 1-1. Excellent execution from Van Meter. Cut the deficit to 1, and now this is flown foul. This is going to be a good battle here the rest of this game. These two want to get ever so close to playing for a state championship. They want to join Mount Vernon, who moved on to that situation we were highlighting earlier, where you're 1 win away from a state championship berth, and you've got 2 games to get that 1 win. And that gives you so much flexibility from how you want to use your pitchers, how you want to attack things offensively. It's a mile-high fly to Tauber. Long run in from center field. She ends up behind the second base position and makes the catch for out number 2. Two outs for Brooklyn Pillar, that outstanding 8th grade left fielder. Base hit to open the 3rd. Was left stranded at 3rd for Van Meter. Shows bunt, misses high, 1-0. Top of the order is waiting next as Van Meter has already cut the deficit to 1 run in this inning. Excellent job by the Bulldogs offensively. This is in there for a strike. Just love the fight that Van Meter has come through with here in this matchup so far. Missed inside, 2-1. I mean, you get punched in the mouth, give up 3 runs at the bottom of the 1st. How do you respond? Van Meter's respond well, and now this is served out to right. Right at Brocious, who makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Leadoff hit by Netton. Stolen base. Couple of bunts. And a run scores for Van Meter in the top of the 4th. It's a 1-run ball game. See if Wahlert Catholic can build back the lead a little bit more. Coming up next on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Looks like another perfect day to get out there and enjoy the summer.
Oh, before she gets in the car. It's easy to choose. P-E-R-F-E-C-T. P-E-R-F-E-C-T. Come on, baby, you look good on me. If you see what I can see, now P-E-R-F-E-C-T.
Iowa State Fair, August 13th through the 23rd.
Well, Van Meter shaves the deficit down to 1 run, and Wahlert, who had the big outburst in the first inning, has not really had much to say offensively yet. Willie Oberhofer takes a ball. Well, the Iowa Farm Bureau knows that strong, vibrant schools are the cornerstone of our communities. That's why they're proud title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and this amazing girls state softball tournament. And they believe that by investing in Iowa's youth, we're investing in Iowa's future. 1-1 here to Oberhofer, who struck out swinging in the bottom of the first. And now trying to spark a little momentum here for the Golden Eagle offense. Foul ball on a pitch that ran way inside. It's 1-2 to Oberhofer with Brocious and McClyman, that bottom third of the Wahlert order, waiting in the wings to try and add to the Golden Eagle advantage that they built early and have not restructured on yet. That's a high fly. This could be fun. Shallow left, wind blowing in. Shortstop Vaught gets there. Tough play for the shortstop Vaught. She made it look easy. But going out there and the wind blowing in and blowing more like a crosswind here, that's a tough ball. And Vaught, again, handles it with ease. 1 gone to the 4th for Claire Brocious, the right fielder. Grounded out to 3rd, her first time up. And Brocious skies one to left. This time Corrados wants to take charge, and she makes the catch in foul ground for out number 2. Boy, the change in pitchers for Van Meter has really worked. Jillian Wozmanski, since replacing Aniston Netton, has allowed just 1 hit through a very clean 2 1/3 innings in relief. She has been so good in the Van Meter circle. To McClyman. There is a ball. 1-0. So 1-0 to McClyman. Bottom 4, the pitch. And there's a strike. Well, you got to imagine if Wozmanski can put away this bottom of the 4th quickly. You got to imagine Van Meter feels like they got some momentum here. 1-1. Line drive, right side. That's down. Oh, and the right fielder, Day, wanted to come up firing. Now rounding first and going to second. The throw is just a bit wild. McClyman is aboard after a single. And we'll see the misplay by Day and right. That's going to lead to an error and get McClyman to second base on it. And now Van Meter head coach James Flaws is out of the dugout, and he wants to have a quick chat with everybody in the circle. Make sure everybody takes a deep breath and gets themselves on the right track now with a base runner on with 2 outs. Not the worst spot to allow a base runner, 2 outs. But you do also get the top of the order coming up as well for Wahlert. And they were held in check. This is now the second time through the order that Wahlert will be facing Wozmanski. She came in to face the top of the order in the 2nd inning. And again, since that, she has been so good. So here's Roth, 3rd time through the order, 2nd time against Wozmanski. Struck out on 6 pitches in the 2nd. Oh, this is a missile. Left center field. It's down all the way up against the wall. McClyman scores easily. And it's the second double of the game for Julia Roth. Another RBI double for this Wahlert Catholic offense, and it's 4-2 Golden Eagles in the fourth. It is also another Channel Seeds extra base hit. We'll take a look at it again. This thing was roped all the way to the wall, one-hopping the fence. I'm surprised that thing didn't bust through that chain link out there and left. It was hit so hard, had a good chance to do so. And so here is Ruth Tauber, center fielder. And the first pitch, Tauber takes off the plate away, 1-0. Kale Murphy, by the way, into courtesy run there for Julia Roth. Roth, excuse me. You can see her there on the second base bag. She's an 8th grader. 1-0 to Tauber, the pitch. Pop up on the infield. Some communication needed for Van Meter, and that's what the third baseman, Corrados, does. Calls everybody off, makes the catch for out number 3. A hit, an error, a double. And Wahlert Catholic scores a run to the bottom of the fourth inning. To the fifth we go. Van Meter now back down by 2 in this winner's bracket matchup on the Girls Union Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Fifth inning opens up with a ball to Maddie Schnell as we cycle back to the top of the order. Van Meter down by 2. And the 1-0 to Schnell way outside. In a winner's bracket matchup in Class 3A, trying to determine which of these two teams will find themselves one win away from the state championship game. Mount Vernon's already in that spot after a 5-1 win over Williamsburg earlier this afternoon. Heck of a win there for the Mustangs. Mount Vernon plays tomorrow at 1 o'clock. 2-0 is a strike. We still have one more team to eliminate tonight. And that'll be Williamsburg against PCM. And then we'll have a team to eliminate tomorrow bright and early. Albia and the loser of this game. Van Meter wants to avoid that spot. They want to see if the 6th seed can make it into the winner's bracket game. Wahlert Catholic trying to get into that last 4 position. Ground ball, weakly hit, back to Roth. Easy toss to the bag for out number 1. Maddie Schnell is a harmless ground out to the pitcher. And with 1 gone, it'll be Ella Fennessy for Van Meter. So Fennessy, that first baseman, 0 for 2 for her line today. First pitch to her is a ball outside, 1-0. Good matchup here in Class 3A. Van Meter feels like a big inning is well within their grasp. They just need the right sequence of hits. They've been able to get some consistent offense. It just hasn't quite been in the sequence to get a big inning. Meanwhile, Wahlert, as that one's in for a strike, Wahlert has been a doubles machine. They have 6 hits. 5 of them are doubles. 2-1 to Fennessy. Ground ball up the middle, kicks off the glove. It's to the shortstop, Ruba, and the throw to first in time. Wahlert Catholic Gets by with a little help from their friends. A 1-6-3 ground out there for out number 2. And it'll be Corrados, to bat for Van Meter. Corrados is 1 for 2. Base hit in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the third. This is taken down and away. Well, now Julia Roth looking for a 1-2-3 inning of her own. We were talking about that with Wozmanski in the bottom of the fourth. Roth hasn't had one all game yet. Boy, what a time to do it this would be if she can do it against the top third of the order on this, the third time through the Van Meter batting order. This is usually when if an offense is going to figure out a pitcher, they're going to do it at this point. 1-1. Down and in. Corrados, one of 4 Bulldogs to have a hit in this game. Annie Netton, who's in the hole right now, has 2 of them. And this one's grounded to third, mishandled. And Corrados is safe. And that is an error at third base for Klein. Short hop eats her up. And a 2-out base runner for Van Meter brings up the pitcher and Jillian Wozmanski. And Wozmanski takes the ball high. Boy, with all the great pitching Wozmanski has done in the circle, she'll have a chance to potentially cut into the deficit a little bit more here. The 1-0 shows bunt and takes another ball, 2-0. Still 2 outs in the inning, so Van Meter kind of in a tight spot to try and bring in a run in this inning. The 2-0. That's in there. Good location from Roth, and it's 2-1. This Bulldog team has already upset one of the higher seeds in Albia, their opener. Did so very convincingly yesterday. Ground ball to third. The one hopper played by Klein, and it's in time to first. It's that 2-out error. Does not come back to haunt Wahlert in the top of the 5th. And now we go to the bottom of the 5th. Wahlert ahead by 2. See if the Golden Eagles could add to their lead. Coming up next on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Life's buzzing with energy. From the delightfully routine to the novel and exciting to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/health-powers-life.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
2-run ball game here in this winner's bracket. Wahlert up and trying to add to their lead. They got the heart of their order up. 3, 4, and 5 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Starting with Addie Klein, the third baseman. 1 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs. She watches strike 1 go by. The Wahlert Catholic offense had a big first inning, and so far that alone has held. Now the Golden Eagles wanting more as the pitch is down and away. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Van Meter trying to keep this a 2-run ball game. The pitch grounded back up the middle into center, base hit. Leadoff single for Addie Klein. And Wahlert Catholic opens up the bottom of the 5th inning with a solid single into center. Klein has her second hit of the game. And now Sadie Schultz will try and follow that up. The second baseman. And the first pitch shows bunt. Oh, pushed it past the third baseman, but it's going to roll foul. Just barely. How in the world she snuck that past the third baseman, Corrados? I'm not sure. That thing just barely had enough room to stay fair about halfway up the line before then turning foul. 0-1 to Schultz. There's a fair bunt. Scooped at third by Corrados, and that throw is in time. And that is out number one. Meanwhile, Klein goes to second. And the Golden Eagles continue to threaten with a runner in scoring position, one out. And here is Natalie Ruba. 2 doubles for Ruba in this game. One of those doubles in the first inning drove it a run. Have to imagine another one here. Should drive in another and give the Golden Eagles a 3-run cushion. That bounces away from the catcher. Livetog doesn't see it, still doesn't know where the ball is, and now the third baseman, Corrados, tracks it down. I don't even think Klein knew where the softball was either. And we'll take a look at this again. Take a look at the ricochet. Yeah, that kicks off her shin guard, and yeah, she doesn't even see the ball. It's all the way in front of the dugout. It wasn't until Corrados went over there. And now James Flaw is using this time to try and calm everybody down. Bit of a miscue, and I think it'd be interesting if Klein gets aggressive on that wild pitch, if she might have a chance to score. So it's 1-0 here to Ruba. And Ruba will have another chance to potentially add to a gaudy day already. 2 for 2, 2 doubles. RBI. Infield playing in for Van Meter. Here comes the 1-0. This is hit high in the air to left center. Schnell measures it up. Klein tags. Here comes the throw from center. On target, but late. Really good throw from Schnell, but no chance to throw out Klein on a sac fly. Second RBI of the game for Natalie Ruba. And it is 5-2. Wahlert adds to their lead here in the bottom of the fifth. We'll take a look again. Tag at third, and good hustle home from Clyde. But this throw was really on the money as well. Catcher Livetog hardly had to move. Another run in for Wahlert. Here's Haley Lang, who takes a strike. Oh for 2 for Lang. Ground out to short, fly out to center. Ground ball to third, taken by Corrados. And that throw is easily made for the third out of the inning. Leadoff hit, and that comes back to bite Van Meter as they give up a run in the bottom of the fifth. Through 5, 3-run lead for the Golden Eagles. They're up 5-2 on the Girls Union Digital Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Well, it's starting to get to that point. Van Meter needs some runs to go their way as we go to the 6th inning. Only 6 outs to play with for the Bulldogs. Again, luckily, Van Meter is in a spot where they have some flexibility. If they lose this game, they get to still play tomorrow morning. And they'll rematch with Albia, which they might like their rematch chances, as the first pitch is low to Netton. It does mean they'll have to see Grace Pence again, which certainly could make for some challenges. The 1-0 to Netton. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Netton's 2 for 2. She's had a good game at the plate. Whenever she's gotten on base, she has scored. The only 2 runs for Van Meter. 1-1 to Netton. Oh, foul ball. So Aniston Netton certainly has done her part. Double, single, stolen base, 2 runs. It's a pretty good day at the office. Here's Roth, delivering the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip. So the bat stays alive. And the count is still 1-2 to Netton. And we still have one more elimination game tonight. Williamsburg and PCM will cap us off. Ground ball to first. It does stay fair, and it is fielded by Lang while she was standing on the base. It's an easy of a ground out as you can get at first base. Out number 1 here in the 6th. And now Delaney Lifetog, the catcher, will bat for Van Meter. So here's the first pitch to Lifetog. It is a strike. Lifetog has twice bunted back to the pitcher. That is a selfless teammate. Sacrificing her own numbers to make sure the good of the team is capitalized on. She bunted in Netton, who scored from second on her bunt in the second inning, and bunted Netton to third in the 4th. Now she floats one to first. It's caught by Lang. Softly hit line drive, and Lang was right there to handle that one off the end of the bat for out number 2. And that'll be Ashlyn Small, the second baseman. Small's 1 for 2 and takes a strike. For a Van Meter squad that, again, is running out of outs late in this one. Pitch is down and away. Here's the 1-1 to Small. Ground ball back up the middle. Taken deep in the hole at short by Ruba, and a great throw is in time. And the Van Meter Bulldogs go down in order. In the top of the 6th inning, excellent job from Julia Roth and company. And we go now to the bottom of the 6th. Wahlert with a chance to still add to their lead and put the Bulldogs away on the Girls Union Digital Network powered by Mid-American Energy.
Ready? Let's go.
Mom, over here. Yeah, this kind of thing can happen when you're hiking, but no worries, Mom. I can prescribe something to soothe the itch.
Unity Point Health looks at your family's health from your point of view, offering same-day appointments with expertise focused on what matters most to you. Unity Point Health, expert care focused on you.
Heading to the bottom of the 6th, Wahlert Catholic with a 3-run advantage over Van Meter. And the Bulldogs trying to keep it at this level because the Bulldogs will need to stage a comeback in the 7th inning to have a chance. This is Lily Oberhofer to open things up. 7, 8, and 9 for Wahlert against Jillian Wozmanski, who again has done a phenomenal job trying to clean up the first inning of play that the Golden Eagles got against Aniston Netton. Now Lily Oberhofer digs in for the 3rd time in this game. And now we're ready to go as Wozmanski delivers a strike. 0-1. Boy, there's some great softball games happening here at the state tournament. You have your pick. We're glad you're tuned in for this one. We'll have some great elimination games to cap off the day. And then to start tomorrow as well. One to Oberhofer and a ball inside. So by the time we get to about lunchtime tomorrow, we'll be down to 4 teams in each class. And we'll be in that situation where the winner's bracket portion has a chance to win 1 game out of 2 potential played. And the loser will have to win 2 to get to the championship. 2-1 pitch. There's a strike. It's 2-2. Big spot for Wahlert as they try and add to their lead to keep Van Meter out of it. Hot shot to third. It kicks off the glove of Corrados. And that's a base hit down the left field line for Oberhofer. A leadoff base runner again for Wahlert. In the 3rd out of 6 innings at the plate, Wahlert has put the leadoff base runner on in in the first 2 innings they've had a leadoff base runner on. They have had a run score. And this will be a courtesy for Lily Oberhofer. Quinn Mattill will run for the Golden Eagles. So here's Claire Brocious trying to drive Mattill in. Sophomore has scored 6 runs this year. Bunts it up the first baseline. It stays fair, and she is aboard. Claire Brocious with a bunt single. 2 on, nobody out. Wahlert trying to go for the jugular now here in the 6th inning as they lead by 3. Great speed from Brocious, the right fielder. Finds her way on, and now the Golden Eagles can really make life difficult for Van Meter. As the bottom of the order, Ari McClyman comes up to the plate to hit. She's bunting as well and fouls it. It's 0-1. McClyman, a hit and a walk. She scored a run in the 4th. The 0-1 popped up, and the third baseman Corrados is there, neutralizing that threat. And a pop-up on the bunt picks up the first out. Quickly shuts down any hopes of 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, and now it'll be Julia Roth back to the top of the order for Wahlert. First pitch off speed. Roth didn't want any part of it. She takes a strike. It's 0-1 to Roth. 2 doubles, a run and an RBI for Julia Roth. As Wahlert tries to add to their lead. Here's a ground ball past third into left. Base hit. Mattill rounds third, gets a late stop sign. And the bases are loaded with 3 hits in the 6th. As Wahlert Catholic continues to threaten offensively. And this will be Ruth Tauber, the center fielder. So here's Tauber, 0 for 2, walked in the 1st. That one's outside, 1-0. Here's the pitch. And it is on the outside corner. Infield in now with a force play. And so Van Meter really trying to make sure that Wahlert does not add to their lead. This is a big spot. 1-1. Ground ball left side. It gets through the shallow infield. 2 runs are trying to score. The relay cut off. Now they got a runner hung up. Corrados runs her back to second. The tag is applied. So they do get the second out. And the shortstop ends up making the play. Vaught. Great hit through the left side from Tauber. 2-run score, and now there's where the pickle started. And it was finally put away by Vaught. 2 RBI single for Ruth Tauber. And then Roth tagged out past second. First pitch to Klein, a strike. So that'll make things really challenging on Van Meter now. The Bulldogs will need 5 runs to keep the comeback hopes alive. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. With 2 outs in the inning. Count is 0-2 to Klein. The pitch. Off speed, down for a ball. The runner goes. Picked a really good pitch to run on. And Ruth Tauber steals her way into scoring position. That big lofting changeup, and she absolutely timed that well. So 1-2 to Klein. 2 outs and a 5-run lead for Wahlert. The pitch popped up and out of play. Foul. One and 2 to Klein. As Wozmanski delivers. Popped up. Shallow left. Shortstop Vaught is there and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Another big inning, though, for Wahlert. They put 2 more on the board in the bottom of the 6th. And now it's the last call for Van Meter. They trail by 5 at the top of the 7th here in this winner's bracket game. See if they can get it done when we come back on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here we go, last chance for Van Meter, top of the 7th inning. As the Bulldogs need 5 runs to stay on the winner's side. Again, nobody is eliminated with this game. So a loss for the Bulldogs. They are still very much in championship consideration. They just have to play that elimination game tomorrow. 8-9-1 for the Bulldogs, starting with Ivy Vaught. And the first pitch to her from Roth is grounded softly to short. And the play is made for out number 1. Bulldogs were held in check in the 6th, the 1-2-3 inning there, and on 1 pitch, the first out is recorded here in inning number 7. Here's the first pitch of this at-bat. A big cut and miss from Brooklyn Pillar. That's 0-1. Here's the pitch. It's off the plate. Tough take there from Pillar on a good competitive pitch. Van Meter needs everything to go their way to stay alive in this count and stay alive in this inning. The 1-1. Bouncing ball, left side. Going to be a tough play, Klein. She gloves. Quick throw, not in time. Infield hit for Pillar. Second hit for the 8th grader here in this game of the state tournament. 3rd hit this week. And now Pillar, I think, is going to be a pinch run for, I should say. And Looks like Bristol Curran. Some Bristol Curran will run for Brooklyn Pillar. So here's Maddie Schnell, top of the order. First pitch, line drive the other way, right at the left fielder, McClyman, who makes the catch. And Van Meter down to their final out here in the winners portion of the Class 3A state tournament. And it'll be Ella Fennessy trying to keep it going. Fennessy 0 for 3. Line out, fly out, ground out. Trying to turn her fortunes around, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. And with a win, Wahlert will be one win away from the state championship game. Line drive up the middle into center. Van Meter's not done yet. 2-out single for Fennessy, gets her first hit of this game. Makes things a little bit more tricky for Wahlert to get out of this inning unscathed. And now here's Mara Corrados to hit for Van Meter, trying to keep it going. First pitch is a strike. And the Bulldogs with a loss will play Albia again tomorrow morning. A 1 is high, 1-1. It'll be a 10:45 start here on Iowa Central Field in Fort Dodge. 1-1 to Corrados. Fly ball well struck to right. Brocious back on it. It is caught as she gets twisted around, but still makes the play. And this one is over, as Van Meter fails to score in the top of the 7th inning, and Wahlert Catholic advances. They are one win away from a state championship berth with a 7-2 win over Van Meter here in this winner's bracket game in the Class 3A state tournament. So Van Meter plays tomorrow morning, 10:45 against Albia. And Wahlert will play the winner of that game coming up tomorrow afternoon at 3:15. Good win for the Golden Eagles. They improve to 37-6. Van Meter drops to 33-7. Now the post-game presentation will take place on the field. Let's go to the public address announcer now.
And now we'd like to recognize the Quick Star star of the game, Natalie Ruba from Wahlert Catholic. This standout performance is in honor of Van Meter Senior Bracket. Thanks to Quick Star for their support of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Wahlert Catholic's next game will be tomorrow here on Iowa Central Field at 3:15. It's opponent defeated for Wahlert Catholic's next game tomorrow here on Iowa Central Field at 3:15.
Well, a great performance from Natalie Ruba. 2 for 2, 2 doubles, a sac fly. She had 2 runs batted in, and the Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles are moving on. They are one win away from the state championship game. They can win one game out of a possible 2, and that will be played tomorrow here in Class 3A. So we have one more game lined up for you tonight. It's an elimination game. Top seed Williamsburg, 5 seed BCM. That's going to be a fun one to cap off. Busy day at the state softball tournament. Again, Van Meter to the elimination side. Wahlert